Before we begin today's emotional journey, imagine hearing these words from one of the most powerful women in the city. My father said you needed a wife. It sounded like an insult wrapped in kindness, a decision already made by people who believed money could solve every problem. But what happened next stunned everyone in the room. The quiet single father, she expected to accept her offer with gratitude, gave an answer so honest, so unexpected, that it changed not only her life but also the meaning of love, dignity, and family forever. If you believe in kindness and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel. Soulful Tales 2. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories that inspire millions around the world. The morning sun bathed the city in warm golden light as people hurried toward offices, cafes, and busy streets, each carrying dreams they hoped the day would fulfill. Among them walked Rowan Mercer, a 34-year-old widower whose life had changed forever 5 years earlier. His wife had lost her battle with a sudden illness, leaving him alone with their little daughter, Ivy, who was only 3 years old at the time. Since then, every sunrise had become both a blessing and a challenge. Rowan learned how to braid tiny pigtails before school, pack colorful lunchboxes, comfort nightmares, and somehow still arrive at work with enough strength to smile. There were no grandparents nearby, no wealthy relatives, and no secret inheritance waiting to rescue them. There was only determination, love, and a promise. He had whispered beside his wife's hospital bed that their daughter would never feel abandoned. Rowan worked as a senior facilities engineer in the towering headquarters of Halcyon Industries, one of the country's largest technology companies. Few employees noticed him because he was never the loudest voice in meetings or the one chasing promotions. He quietly repaired problems before they became disasters, stayed late when machines failed, and treated everyone from security guards to executives with the same respect. To him, dignity was not measured by salary, but by character. Every evening, no matter how exhausted he felt, he rushed to collect Ivy from daycare before it closed. She always greeted him with a bright smile that erased the weight of the day, reminding him why he kept moving forward. Across the city lived Celeste Ashford, the young CEO of Halcyon Industries. At 32, she had inherited leadership after her father's unexpected retirement. Newspapers praised her intelligence, discipline, and fearless business decisions. Investors admired her confidence, while employees respected her professionalism. Yet behind the polished image stood a woman carrying invisible expectations. Her father believed success required a perfect family image. He constantly reminded her that powerful leaders should marry equally, accomplished partners, and avoid emotional complications. When he noticed Rowan during a company charity event, patiently helping Ivy paint pictures while other parents checked their phones, he made a surprising remark. He believed a hard-working single father needed stability, and he convinced himself that introducing Rowan to Celeste could solve two problems at once. To him, marriage sounded like another business arrangement. Several weeks later, Rowan received an invitation to the executive conference room. Confused, he assumed there was a technical emergency involving the building's infrastructure. Instead, he found Celeste waiting beside enormous windows overlooking the bright skyline. She appeared calm and confident, yet something about the meeting felt strangely personal. As sunlight reflected across polished floors, she explained that her father believed Rowan deserved another chance at happiness and that perhaps they could consider getting to know each other. The proposal carried no cruelty, yet it sounded more like a carefully calculated solution than a heartfelt invitation. Rowan listened quietly, his expression unchanged. After a long silence, he gently explained that he had spent years rebuilding a broken life with his daughter. He was not searching for someone to rescue him, complete him, or improve his public image. The only person whose approval mattered each evening was a little girl, waiting for him with open arms. He could never enter a relationship because someone else believed he needed fixing. Love, he said softly, could never begin with pity or obligation. It had to grow from genuine respect, shared kindness, and a willingness to choose each other freely every single day. Those simple words settled over the room with astonishing weight. Celeste had negotiated billion-dollar contracts without hesitation, yet nothing had prepared her for such quiet honesty. She suddenly realized that every important decision in her own life had been influenced by expectations instead of feelings. Rowan had refused an opportunity many people would have considered life-changing. Not because he was proud or arrogant, but because he understood the value of self-respect. For the first time in years, Celeste questioned whether she had been living according to her father's dreams instead of her own. The meeting ended politely, but neither of them forgot it. Rowan returned to repairing equipment and attending parent-teacher meetings, believing the unusual conversation belonged firmly in the past. Celeste, however, found herself thinking about the quiet engineer whose greatest achievement was raising a happy child despite overwhelming loss. She noticed small things she had ignored before. Employees smiled when Rowan entered a room. Cleaning staff appreciated how he always thanked them. Security guards trusted him completely. Even during stressful emergencies, he remained calm while others panicked. Leadership, she realized, sometimes wore work boots instead of expensive suits. One sunny Saturday, Halcyon Industries organized a community volunteer event in a city park. Employees planted trees, painted playground equipment, and distributed meals to struggling families. Ivy eagerly joined her father, wearing oversized gardening gloves that kept slipping from her tiny hands. She laughed every time a butterfly landed near the flowers they planted together. Celeste attended as well, expecting another routine corporate appearance. Instead, she witnessed Rowan spending more time encouraging nervous children than speaking with executives. When one frightened little boy accidentally spilled paint across his own shirt, Rowan simply smiled, helped him clean up, and turned the colorful stain into a joke that made every child laugh again. Watching from a distance, Celeste experienced something unfamiliar. She admired success all her life, but compassion touched her heart in a way achievements never had. She began wondering how someone carrying so much personal grief could still offer endless patience to strangers. The answer became clear whenever Ivy looked at her father. Their bond was built not on perfection, but on daily acts of love, sacrifice, and trust. As months passed, their paths crossed naturally during company projects and community events. They spoke about books, childhood memories, favorite parks, and the challenges of balancing responsibility with personal dreams. There were no grand romantic gestures, only sincere conversations filled with growing understanding. Celeste gradually stopped viewing Rowan as the man her father wanted her to marry. Instead, she saw someone whose strength came from humility rather than power. Then one bright autumn afternoon, everything changed. A sudden electrical fire broke out in one of Halcyon's research buildings. Smoke spread rapidly through several floors while employees rushed toward emergency exits. Panic threatened to overwhelm the situation until Rowan calmly coordinated evacuations with firefighters, ensuring every employee escaped safely. When he realized one intern remained trapped inside a storage room, he ignored personal danger and helped rescue the terrified young worker before emergency. Crews fully contained the fire. News of his courage spread throughout the company by evening. Reporters praised the rescue, but Rowan avoided interviews. He insisted anyone in his position would have done the same. For him, protecting lives was simply the right thing to do. Celeste watched the coverage with tears she struggled to hide. The man who once refused a convenient future had once again chosen courage over recognition. She understood then that true greatness never demanded applause. Her father finally admitted he had misunderstood Rowan from the beginning. He believed wealth could create security, but Rowan had shown that integrity created something far stronger: trust. The older man apologized to both of them, confessing that he had treated people like problems to solve instead of hearts to understand. Time continued moving forward beneath countless warm sunrises. Friendship slowly deepened into genuine affection, not because anyone expected it, but because respect had quietly become love. Ivy welcomed Celeste not as a replacement for her mother, but as another caring person who celebrated school drawings, bedtime stories, and weekend adventures. Their growing family formed naturally, without pressure or obligation. Years later, during another charity event held in the same park where everything had begun to change, Rowan looked around at children laughing beneath the afternoon sunlight, volunteers planting flowers, and families sharing simple moments together. He realized happiness had never arrived through wealth, titles, or carefully arranged plans. It had grown from countless ordinary choices to remain kind. honest and faithful even when life seemed unbearably unfair. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with your loved ones, leave a heartfelt comment, and subscribe to Soulful Tales. 2. Your support encourages us to keep sharing stories that remind the world compassion still exists. Special request before this story ends, please comment, "Kindness always finds its way." We'd love to know where you're watching from and what lesson touched your heart the most. As the golden afternoon slowly faded into a peaceful evening, Rowan understood that second chances rarely arrive in the way people imagine. Sometimes they come disguised as painful losses, unexpected friendships, or honest words spoken at exactly the right moment. The CEO had believed a lonely father needed a wife. Instead, she discovered that what both of them truly needed was the courage to choose love freely, without pride, pressure, or pity. And in doing so, they proved that the strongest families are not built by power or wealth, but by kindness, respect, and hearts willing to heal together. The greatest gift we can ever offer another person is not to rescue them, but to walk beside them with compassion until hope becomes home once again.